And bam, we're live. Oh, wow, that's so weird. I can't show my sponsors. What is going on? Good morning. New location. I wonder if anyone else knows how to do that. Look at, I go like, if I go like, oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. All righty. What a week. What a weekend. Absolutely amazing. Bam, we're live. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. For those of you texting me, telling me, hey, do we have a show early or not? I wasn't even sure. For some reason, I don't do time changes so well. That must be fourth grade math. I'm only good at third grade math. Oh, early. Cool. Early one today. Do you guys like early? What if I started getting up at 5 in California? That'd be better. Start my shows at 6 instead of 7 Pacific Standard Time. David, good morning. Vindicate upgraded website, but not all the reviews transferred over. If you can, take some time to go to vindicate.com, leave a review for a product you've purchased. Help out a good dude. I think I saw somewhere in some notes sent to me that they had 900 reviews. Let me check out the new website, vndk8.com. They had 900 reviews and none of them transferred over. That's tough. Do reviews normally not transfer over to a new website? Be the first to know about the product launches and the latest updates. All right, you already have my email. Oh, this is a beautiful site. Congrats. Look at that. Paper Street Coffee, Coffee Pods and Wads, the Sevon Podcast, Colton Mertens, the Batman, HillerFit. Welcome to the new improved Vindicate. From now through Monday, we are applying 15% discount on all orders. Thank you for your loyalty. New backpacks, shorts, shirts, pants. It's like a full clothing store now. Yeah, this is a beautiful site. Congratulations, dude. This is really cool. Very, very cool. I still love my note. Oh, this shirt's the one I see everywhere. This white one. Damn, that one. Oh, where are my wristbands? Should be wearing those this morning. It's a little cold. All right. And the Sevon Podcast will be donating all of its money to the LA fire victim. No, that's not true. That is not true. I guess I could use a few new shirts. Yep. Good. That's right. And make sure you leave a review. I don't know why that's important, but I guess it is important. People like reviews. The new website is so clean. I'm up at 4 a.m. Wow. Sevon, I finally watched the Crucible live stream. I learned so much about ovulation. Thanks for the lesson. The Crucible. Oh, did we talk about ovulation there, Barclay? Good morning. Good to see you, buddy. Crazy show last night. Wild. It was great being in the same room with Hiller, Souza, and Taylor. And just like a couple minutes before the show started, we were down a mic. Susan's like, "Oh, I'll sit this one out." I'm like, "The fuck you will." So we had to go. I had to go to Greg's house, get the key from the car, because my wife was there. Get the key for the house from the car. Go back to my house, get the mic, then go back to Greg's house and return the key, and then back to the show. I love that shirt. Yeah, that's a great shirt. It's soft too. It's nice. Fits good. Makes me look yoked. And if a shirt can do that for me. I missed a day of working out this week. I did that workout with Taylor where it's I highly recommend this for anyone who just wants to, if you just want to hurt. It was 2 minutes on the clock. I rode 20 calories. Taylor did 25, and then jump off the rower, and with the remaining time you have in 2 minutes, go back and forth over the rower and collect burpees. Then rest 2 minutes and do that 8 times. It was horrendous. The next day I took the day off. I just stood on my feet all day and helped with the BSI event, Broken Science event Greg was running. And then last night, before the podcast, I hit a little something. What did I do? I did 15 cals on the row, 10 deadlift at 135, 5 pull-ups as fast as I could, 5 rounds. That was pretty nasty. I got left on my side for that one too. But I've really ratcheted up the intensity. I'm avoiding the assault bike like the plague. Sticking to the rower, running, lots of burpees, making sure I deadlift, clean, jump rope, all that shit. It's like I'm almost doing CrossFit now. When your beard is like that, you look like you could be my tiny father. I was actually thinking of shaving it off this morning. My kids want to shave the middle out and just make me look like I belong to a biker gang. Last night or the Kill Taylor one? Yeah, last night's show. Last night's show was crazy. Last night's show was wild. They were on fire. It was late. It was 8 p.m. and Taylor and I had a C4. Hiller had a bunch of C4s in the fridge. I don't know if Hiller had a C4. But Sousa was on fire. Taylor was on fire. It was great. I wish I could do podcasts with them at least once a week in the same room. That would. I guess I've been in denial, but getting us all in the same room would be tremendous. It would be a complete and total game changer. So LA is still burning. I stayed up till like midnight trying to watch fire stuff last night. I hadn't been keeping track for the last 2 days because I've been at this BSI conference. Make sure Trudeau actually quit. Did he? Anyway, check this out. I found this video. It's kind of long, but it's about the mayor, Karen Bass in LA. I don't know. I can't believe she's the mayor of Los Angeles. Maybe the wealthiest city in the world.
1983. Remember this date, but first, let me introduce you to Karen Bass. Back in the 1970s, community activist Karen Bass went on at least 15 trips to Cuba, many with a group known as the Venceremos Brigade, a Marxist group started by the Castro regime to subvert American interests, weaken democracies, and spread communism around the world. Founded in 1969, the Venceremos Brigade organized trips to Cuba every year for half a century. They attracted the most radicalized and delusional segments of the American left, including overtly Maoist and pro-Soviet communist groups. In fact, a Los Angeles police investigator who infiltrated the group testified to Congress saying that to be a member of the brigade, you had to be confirmed as a Marxist-Leninist, as a brigadista, and then moving up the ranks to organizer for the Venceremos Brigade. Karen Bass visited Cuba every 6 months. Their mission? To radicalize young, impressionable American leftists in terrorist tactics and guerrilla warfare. Members of the Venceremos.
This is the mayor of LA. This is her background.
Brigade were even taught how to make bombs.
Jesus Christ.
Karen Bass admits on her many pilgrimages to Cuba, she went to see Fidel Castro speak several times, even calling him charismatic, and upon his death, praised him, saying, "The passing of Commandant en Jefe is a great loss to the people of Cuba."
She called him the boss.
Even though the people of Cuba see him as a dictator who impoverished their island. Another group, the M19, took its belief in revolutionary anti-imperialism to extremes, violent extremes. The M19 was the first and only women-created and women-led domestic terrorist group. Since their founding in 1978, M19's tactics escalated from robbing armored trucks and abetting prison breaks to building their own explosives and carrying out terrorist bombings. From 1983 to 1984, M19 bombed an FBI office, the Israel Aircraft Industries building, the South African consulate in New York, DC's Fort McNair, and Navy Yard, which they bombed twice. But that wasn't enough for them. On the night of November 7, 1983, the M19 called the US Capitol switchboard and warned them to evacuate the building. Minutes later, the M19 bombed the north wing of the US Capitol. November 7, 2023 marks 40 years since the M19's bombing of the US Capitol. Members of the M19, like Susan Rosenberg, traveled to Cuba with and were radicalized by the Venceremos Brigade. The South Los Angeles Spence Ramos Brigade was led by Karen Bass, who is now mayor of Los Angeles.
Think about that climb to ascent. I keep hearing crazy shit, like people on the news. I'm watching the news and they're interviewing people and they're like, I can't believe the government's not taking care of us. It's like, dude, where have you been the last 4 years? They forced your kids to take fucking government mandated drugs in order to go to school. They told you wouldn't be able to go into restaurants and supermarkets unless you were injected and you could prove you had taken the drugs. And now you think that there's a fire and that they're coming to save you? You're out of your fucking mind. What? I wonder how much it takes. This is what we talk about all the time on the show, right? Until it presses up against you, until it rubs against you, until a homeless guy rubs his dick between your butt cheeks. You ain't doing nothing. This is the assistant. This is the assistant fire chief for the city. Hi, good morning. This is the assistant fire chief. I'm about to show you. The assistant fire chief for Los Angeles. What is that? Can that who do you think in a workout? Who do you think, is there anyone in the comments who thinks they would lose to that thing in a workout? Anyone? This is the assistant fire chief in Los Angeles. You guys have already seen the fire chief, right? DEI hire. They're hiring people to protect your homes from fire and to come to your parents' house when they fall down. Not based on their capabilities, but based on what kind of genitalia they prefer in their face relative to their own genitalia and the color of their skin. This is the assistant fire chief.
Want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you.
No, I don't.
It gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better.
No, actually, I just want you to be competent and be able to help me if I'm on fire. That would be great.
Is she strong enough to do this?
I mean, it seems like a reasonable question.
Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
Listen to that. The assistant fire chief, her response is, if someone were to ask her whatever that thing is, are you strong enough to carry my husband out of a fire? And the response of the assistant fire chief for Los Angeles, California is, well, if you've fallen and you need help getting out of a fire, you've gotten yourself in a bad spot. Basically, it's on you.
I am in the wrong place because my house is on fire. So no, that's true.
You want to see some.
I can't even believe this is fucking real. Half my state voted for this. Half my state, my family members, they voted for this. By the way, the DMs you guys are sending me, so many of you are sending me DMs about your foray into firefighting, and all of you have pretty amazing stories about basically because you were a man or you were a white man that you got fucked. My mate is a firefighter. He was carrying a retard out of a building a few years ago, and he had tried putting his finger up my mate's ass. So that's fine. That's just part of the job. This is unreal. This chick, Kristen Larson, or I don't know if it was a dude at one point, it makes $399,000 a year. Let me explain something. All firefighters should be men who are 20 to 40 years old. No women. It's not a woman's profession. All firefighters should be men who are 20 to 40 years old. And there's going to be some retard who's going to be like, what if a woman passes the test? Okay, that's fine. Totally fine. It's 100% fine. Then we would have a woman. Well, Sevi, how come a 50-year-old man can't be a firefighter? Because a 50-year-old man is not equipped to stay up for 48 hours. A 50-year-old man cannot work as hard as a man who's fit and strong, who's 20 to 40 years old. All firefighters need to be young men who are 20 to 40 years old. Once you're over 40, you get some sort of office job or some sort of planning job, or you clean the fire engine, something like that. That's it. Nope, sorry, not 50. Nope. Not 50. 50. If you're 50, you got an office job, or I don't need to, or if you're at the fire, you're there just to like organize shit. Yeah, 55-year-old men need their fucking sleep, dude. We don't fucking operate. We can't even see at night. Do you understand? Let's just be honest. We're so fucking stiff. We don't even fucking move normal. You know how many I saw a handful of really crazy fit men over 50 this week, and they, after sitting in a chair for 3 hours, when they stand up, they can barely fucking move. No women firefighters. But Sevi, that's misogynistic. No, it's actually the exact opposite of misogynistic. You're doing it because you want to save women in burning buildings. It's the exact opposite. It's the exact opposite. I'd have to, maybe Bill Grundler, I'd have to see him get out of bed in the morning. You know, I mean, Bill is pretty magical. I'd have to see him get out of bed. And listen, you keep Bill. You keep Bill and you use him for something that requires experience. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm telling you, if you want to save lives, if Black Lives Matter, if they truly matter, all firefighters are just men 20 to 40 years old. That's it. You get them at fucking 20. They're done at 40. You retire them. It's cool. You just have this fucking funnel just straight out of high school or junior college. Of course, there are some exceptions. There's a random fucking, dyke that gets in who's fucking amazing. There's a couple guys who are 43 who just like, you know what I mean? Hey, listen, at 40, you know how usually these tests, for the older you are, they get easier. These tests, like to continue on the team, you just make it harder. You make it a little harder. The 20 to 40-year-olds have to be able to do 20 strict pull-ups. The 45-year-old guy has to do 25. You make wiggle room everywhere, of course. Of course, you make wiggle room everywhere. And the woman who becomes a firefighter, like, you exalt her. You're like, holy shit, you glorify the fuck out of her. She's like, she can be the face of the fire department. That's it. Do you want the best fire department? Do you want the fires put out the fastest? Do you want the crews to be able to work the longest? Do you want your hey, listen, if I told you, this has happened. You know for sure this has happened, that there's been incompetent firefighters who are women and old fat guys, or even young fat guys, who showed up at a fire, couldn't do their job, and someone died. Now, just imagine that was your kid. That was your 13-year-old son. You want to make things fair for your 13-year-old son? Your 13-year-old son's life it's about being fair. It's fucking crazy, man. Hey, this is why all those women are getting raped in This is the exact reason why all these women, yes, not women, sorry, little girls are getting raped in the UK. It's the exact same reason. It's been just this hatred of competence on the backs of white people that's led to this. It's not in vogue. It's not in vogue to tell the truth. It's not in vogue to save people's lives. It's only in vogue to determine to agree and feel and use words like marginalized and somehow feel sorry for someone and give them a helping hand because they like to have the same genitalia they have sit on their face, or because of the color of their skin, or because of the religion they are. Pakistani rape, yeah. I watched so much shit on that this morning. It is nuts. And it's exactly what happened in New York City. There was a white girl sitting with her white boyfriend at 3 a.m. on a bus stop. A guy came by and slit her fucking boyfriend's throat. It's all on video. The boyfriend died. The girlfriend refused to fucking identify the guy because she thought it would be racist because it was a black guy. She didn't have to identify him. There was footage of it from like 3 different angles. And so you have these young girls now in the UK, little girls getting raped by the thousands, and no one wants to say anything because they're afraid that they're going to be Islamophobic. Let me tell you something. If you're not Islamophobic, something's wrong with you. It's like not being arachnophobic. If you're not afraid of spiders, something's wrong with you. You're off a little bit. You're either lying to yourself, your discernment's broken. Just think of everything you know about Islam. I'm not saying it's valid. I'm not saying spiders are dangerous. I'm not saying that jumping out of an airplane. You could argue to me all day that airplanes are safer than cars all day. That's what the numbers say. But if you're not afraid of going up in planes a little bit, it doesn't give you a little anxiety. Your fucking discernment's all fucked up. You're numb. Big steel fucking giant machine weighing thousands of tons takes off in the air with 300 people, and you 99.9% of people can't explain how it's working. It's okay. It's okay to be a little afraid of planes. It's okay to fucking be Islamophobic. It's okay to be arachnophobic. It's okay if you see two men making out to fucking be startled by it and think it's kind of gross. It's okay. This is just normal. This has nothing to do with your character or your values or your morals. This just has to do how you're programmed. You're not programmed to think it's okay to go up in a fucking tin can flying at fucking 500 miles an hour. Stuffed in there with 250 other people, and the waitresses in the plane, the stewardesses are semi-retarded, and you're like, shit, I wonder if the captain is retarded too. And as you take off, they're playing you a video about what an inclusive, diverse program they have that gets kids out of the fucking inner city to fly the planes. Something's wrong with you if you're not afraid of that. It has nothing to do with being racist or misogynist. If your firefighters show up and you see them struggling to get out of the fucking engine, and you see a bunch of women and old men, you're fucked. You're part of the problem. Who thinks 55 years old is okay to be fucking fighting fires in LA? Hell no. Maybe some sort of office position because you have so much knowledge about how to fight fires and you're disseminating that knowledge down to the younger men. Sure. Okay. Hey, I don't think it is. These cases were 15 or 20 years ago. I think it's going on now, Clive. I think it's going on now. This is like a mega George Floyd incident. If you know a cop, ask that cop, have you avoided interacting with criminals because of the George Floyd incident and you didn't want to get in trouble? You will 100%, all of them will give you one incident. They didn't pull someone over. There was some fucking crazy black lady swinging a box cutter and you turned the other cheek and you walked away. Every one of them has a story. Where they were afraid of the social pressure. And in the UK, as we speak, little girls are getting raped because of that, because someone's afraid to be like, this Islamic shit, what I know about it from fucking CNN and Fox doesn't look good. From our own fellow police officer, 1,000,000%. Yeah. Good morning, Jeremy.
Hey, can you hear me, brother?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's up, dude?
Hey, I'm going to give you something. I'm a little behind. You're talking about the female firefighting thing. I'm giving you something else to think about here, too. Not that you haven't, but obviously you cannot speak in absolutes, right? So I want to preface that, what I'm going to say with you cannot speak in absolutes, right?
Yeah.
There are exceptions, and I think you did say that there are some Xena warrior princess women out there who could do some crazy shit, and that is awesome.
Yep.
But here's another angle.
Lesbians.
Yeah, there are some crazy rug munchers out there. They can just do some crazy stuff. But here's the other angle. Again, not speaking in absolutes, but I'll give you an example. There's at least 3 members at my gym that are firefighters. There's probably 7, 8 more, but 3 of them work at the exact same station. 1 of them is a female. 2 of them are really awesome dudes, both jacked, absolute savages, right?
Yeah, guys, you want to show up when your car slipped upside down on the side of the highway and you look out the window and you're like, thank God.
Seriously, these are the guys that you want.
Yep.
The other one, she's pretty fit. She's pretty capable. But for what she has in fitness and capability, it's taken away by what they explained to me, and I've experienced with her myself, is her unbelievable woke cancel culture behavior. So you got this station of dudes, and we have crass jokes, and we say quote unquote inappropriate things, blah, blah, blah. Well, they tell me that she routinely takes that stuff to management, to the fire chief, whoever, and tries to get people canceled, tries to get people fired all the time. This happens all the time. They say none of the guys do this. Like, the guys are pretty cool. We just make jokes. We know we're joking around, then we go save some lives and rinse and repeat. Well, this specific female, one of the only women on that fire station, yep. She's constantly canceling, constantly getting in between people, is that all females at all fire stations? No, but it sure as heck isn't a lot of males. I'll say that. So to your point, yeah, it would probably be better served from a physical standpoint, having more male firefighters, but even from a like conversational standpoint, from a just like, hey, who's not going to cause shit? It's usually dudes, and in those type of environments that are just like, whatever, it's all good. He said something stupid. I don't care. It was a crass joke, whatever. It's usually females that are like, that was rude, that was mean, that was misogynistic, that was this, that, and the next thing. And now you have this rift in your firehouse where we're supposed to be saving lives together, but as a person, I can't freaking stand you. Something to think about.
Hey, and what's interesting is I was recently speaking to a chick who's a lesbian, who's very fit, who used to be a firefighter, and she was telling me the exact same thing, that she hated she said she was in a firehouse, the men said a lot of crass shit, and that she completely accepted it, and it was cool, and she got it, and she hated the women and the people that reported that shit. That she's like, hey man, you have to understand that if you're getting into this profession, you're just around a bunch of dudes.
And that's what we do. We just, we say things, we joke, we whatever, but like at the end of the day, we got each other's back. We love each other. Same thing in the military. Like we said crazy shit to each other all the time, and we love each other. It's all good at the end of the day. But you get certain types of females in there, man, all of that is just ruined, dude. And it's funny because then and they'll be like, yeah, we got a couple, probably got like 2 other women, and they absolutely hate her because she just tries to get everybody in trouble and canceled, and it's
that should be part of the test. One of your coworkers comes and talks about how his wife is pissed at him because he fucking premature ejaculates. Does that bother you? And if you say yes, you're fucking out.
Oh God, yeah, that's a great idea. I wonder if there's firehouses out there that actually like do that. Just to test the waters with certain females. That in this case, you have to do that. Imagine going to your shift, your 24-hour shift, and you have this female on your shift, and you got to sit there and walk on eggshells for 24 fucking hours. Yeah. Like, no, dude, get that out of here. That's crazy. So yeah, again, it's the physical standpoint. You have that dumb, fat, stupid LA fire chief or whatever the hell she was talking about getting yourself, I would say, and get yourself in a situation that I have to carry you. That's your fault. Like, fuck you. Like, what are you talking about? You get that, but then you also get the other side of it where, man, they just, yeah, you get it.
Hey, and here's the thing. There are a few a handful of really great female firefighters.
Yeah.
But what happens
Absolutely.
is, and we've known this forever on the show, and we've said it for years, and now it looks like it might be becoming mainstream. Any person you see that is not a white male, it is okay to ask them, because of the way we've been fucking brainwashed for the last 4 years, did you get this job on merit? And that fucking sucks, but that's where we fucking are.
Yeah.
That's where we are. If you see,
you're right.
if you see, like that police chief of LA, for all, she might be great. And you know what? If I had to bet $1 million, is she a good firefighter? Was she a good firefighter? I would bet, and I had to bet, I would bet she was. But it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't even matter anymore, because we're not at that place, because every Tom, Dick, and Harry knows a guy who didn't get the job because he was a guy. And and that's what they've done. It's been a disservice to all of the female firefighters. It's been a disservice to all of the black people. It's fucking nuts.
It is nuts. It's a clown show. Who knows what the next 4 years brings? Maybe it brings some sanity and everything back to the equation here. Or, one can only hope. But it has gotten so muddied, and so it's like the CrossFit gym that is saying that that sugar is okay. You can have some. It's okay. Don't worry about it. And then all of a sudden, you have this culture that doesn't understand. One of the biggest things we're fighting is chronic disease, and if we're going to show the outside world that sugar is okay and we can just eat it whenever or consume it whenever we want, well, what message are we sending to them?
Hey,
it's not okay.
And I don't care about your feelings. I don't care if you want someone to say, if you're a fucking Asian woman and you want fucking your firefighters to look like Asian people so you feel more comfortable. I don't care.
Right.
It's not that has nothing to do. That holds no merit. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about. You can have those feelings, and I understand those feelings, but whatever, move on. The thing is it should be just based on merit. At the end of the day, you want someone who can save you. Do you want to look at, if you're an Asian woman burning under a car, do you want a white guy to save you, or do you want your last look to be into the eyes of some Asian woman? It's like, I'll take the white guy.
Like, who the hell cares? Like, that whole commercial was like about feelings, just like the music and everything was all like, I feel so good. And it's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, who cares? Like, I don't care if a black guy comes to try to save me. Like, it doesn't, let me get that black guy over there. I don't care. Like, you can look however you want. It doesn't matter. But at the precipice of a lot of them, that whole mentality is feelings. How do I feel? It's all about how I feel. Dude, it doesn't matter. Life and death, it doesn't matter my feelings, dude. It's like, save my ass or don't.
And you know what? You could say it the exact inverse too. If you got some fucking skinny white meth head fucking raping your fucking daughter in a back alley, sure. If I had my druthers, I'd pick 3 fucking black dudes that look like Blade to jump out of a car and be there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
But
100%.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Have a good day.
Bye. Here, it only gets crazier. We talked about Karen Bass this morning, full-on Marxist mayor of LA. Her whole youth was spent learning in Cuba how to take down the United States. Now she leads the largest and richest city in the world. Well, how about this? The vice mayor. That's what the deputy mayor is. The deputy mayor of a city is the person who's in charge when your mayor's fucking having a heart attack or gets shot or is in Ghana. We have something called the deputy mayor. An attorney for LA Deputy Mayor Brian Williams has issued a statement after the FBI searched his home in connection to an investigation into a bomb threat made against City Hall. This is just a few days ago. The vice mayor is being investigated for calling a bomb threat into City Hall. Didn't we just learn a few minutes ago that the mayor was big into bomb building and teaching kids how to, being affiliated with organizations that make bombs, that blew up, that used bombs to attack the United States on its soil? Mr. Williams strongly maintains his innocence and intends to vigorously fight the allegations. Another DEI hire. His attorney, Dimitri Gorin, said, "We urge the public to allow the investigative process to play out and not prejudice the facts of this case before they are known. Sorry, too late." Williams has not spoken about the matter other than through his attorney because he's fucking guilty. About 10 or 15 of Williams' cuck liberal colleagues and former classmates from the cuck school of UCLA held a news conference on Friday to show their support for him. They said Williams is a man of integrity and accusations made against him are baseless. I first met Brian Williams 40 years ago, blah, blah, blah. By the way, he's going to be charged for this. They tracked the cell phone to his house that made the bomb threat to City Hall. At this point, I don't care if it was his wife or one of his kids or whatever kind of bullshit they're going to try to say. Williams was named Deputy Mayor of Public Safety in 2023 by LA Mayor Karen Bass. Listen to this. Do you know what his role is as Deputy Mayor? He's in charge of the Los Angeles Fire Department. His role is to oversee the Los Angeles Police Department and the Los Angeles Fire Department. Absolutely nuts. I think Sevy had a dream that Big Dick Nick came over whilst he was away. He was very grumpy today. Nick does not have a big dick. Everything else you're saying might be true. Who's Jerome? Is Jerome just pimping girls in the chat? If you want a lifesaver to look like you, you're racist. 100%. No, you're confusing him with my other buddy. I got another buddy that's got 3 Coke cans stacked on top of each other for a cock. You got my friends confused. You got friend stories confused. Sorry. But that's on you. I mean, you could imagine Nick to have a big dick if you want, but he doesn't. Nick was actually a little feminine. Like he would stand around like this. He was a little feminine. A little bit of gay in him. Karen Bass, communist, bomber, vice mayor of Los Angeles, about to be charged with calling in a bomb threat to City Hall. It's crazy what's going on in California. I knew it was bad, but this is crazy. And here, this next video I'm going to show you takes us to the point. Under the Republicans, nobody thinks the band that's going to play at the inauguration is a bunch of black kids. No one thinks Trump picked those kids because they were black. Not one person. Every single person knows that Trump picked those kids because they're good. The Mississippi Valley State Band. That's it. They know. If you're voted in as a black Republican into office, or you're the chief of police and you're Republican and you're black and you're Republican, no one thinks that you got there as a DEI hire. No one questions that. No one questions that. Not even for a second.
Is having Mississippi Valley State University play at his inauguration.
But if this was Kamala's inauguration, you would know they were picked because they were black.
And y'all got a fucking problem with that? See, this the shit I don't understand. Y'all didn't have a problem with Megan Thee Stallion on stage shaking dookie dust in front of your kids, but you have a fucking problem with young black kids playing a symphony at Trump's fucking inauguration? See, the difference is Trump is doing it after he already fucking won, meaning he don't have to fucking do it. Versus Kamala doing it before just to get your support. And y'all can't see the difference? That's called having a reprobated mind. And you motherfuckers don't want to get better.
What's a repudiated mind? That's called having a repudiated mind. I might have to look that word up. Corey Leonard, Sevon, I sent you a DM on IG with Adam Carolla explaining his white privilege when he was trying to get onto Los Angeles Fire Department when he was a kid. Yeah, I played that a couple days ago. Thank you.
You don't want to do better. You want to be rebellious. You like curses. You like to wallow around in Satan shit. And I blame the fucking generation that raised you. Trump is having Mississippi Valley.
Wild. It bothers the left that he's having them on because they're talented and not because they're black. It bothers them. We're surrounded by dipshits. But maybe they're going to wake up now that they've had the fire rub its wildly huge cock between their butt cheeks. Maybe they're like, okay, fuck that. We don't like that. Stop. Okay, sorry. My son says to stop swearing. He's awake. I'm in the living room. Someone told me the other day, they're like, why did you set Rich up? I'm like, I never set Rich up. I fucking love Rich Froning. What are you talking about? I fucking absolutely love him. But then my buddy Andrew Hiller has to take these clips. So the other day I did a podcast. I guess Rich did a podcast where he said something about Greg working out or not working out. I don't care. I don't care if Greg works out or not. I don't care if people say that they think it's lame that he doesn't work out or that he rows too much. Like, I don't care if people think I do the assault bike too much. Like, I don't care. It's Rich's podcast. He can say whatever he wants. But they took this clip from Rich's. But so the other day when I was on my podcast, someone paid $4.99 and they said, what's Greg think about Rich saying that he doesn't work out? And Greg made a funny comment back. Well, what do you think about? Well, I'll play it for you. But someone connected these two clips together. And then people are hitting me up. Why'd you set Rich up like that? I'm like, I didn't set Rich up like that. Greg, would you comment on Froning saying he didn't like it that he never saw you work out? Did you see how I'm reading that? And the reason why I bring it up is two reasons. One, the person paid money, but two, it gives Greg an opportunity to answer it and show whether how secure, insecure, or whatever he is. I like doing stuff like that. I like giving people, like, someone else also brought up, is Greg drunk again? And I read that to Greg. The whole point is to face those comments head on and be like, okay, here's a test of your character. Greg doesn't know I'm going to do that. So here's Greg's response when I read that to him.
CrossFit is infinitely scalable. Have you ever seen Greg Glassman do a workout?
That'd be like me said, I never got to see him think.
Greg, would you comment on Froning saying he didn't like it that he never saw you work out?
CrossFit is infinitely scalable. Have you ever seen Greg Glassman do a workout?
That'd be like me said, I never got to see him think.
Greg, would you... It's funny. It's funny. That's it. It's funny. It's not a dig at anyone. It's funny. It's comedy. It's hilarious. Well, let me read this comment. Froning is right. There are 0 videos of Greg Glassman doing CrossFit. He could have said, I don't need to post a video to prove that I do it, and that's fair, but he didn't. So the observation remains. I don't even know what the fuck that means. Eric Maciel says, wow, look at this. In 2001, Greg Glassman is in a front lever and back lever. I imagine some working out is required to perform a lever. Damn. Anyway, people are like, Sevi set Rich up. Sevi set Rich up. Hey, fuck you. It's funny. Oh, my goodness. That was amazing. Okay, let's go over there and look at that really quick, too, while we're here. Angelo is so funny. I think that podcast might actually be getting legs now. Oh, I typed in Angelo. I know it had a lot of views, but those guys may have found their, whoever's making their reels is absolutely killing it. Where is the, where do I find it? Is it on Mayhem Athlete? Where is that? What Instagram account is that? Where is that? I need to get Coach Dom on. Oh, I need to get that guy Brannon on too. Brannon, the guy who looks like a Ken doll who used to be at Training Think Tank. He left Training Think Tank. What happened? Where is the oh, let me see this. Just had Members at my gym expressed their displeasure with Greg's Floyd 19 tweet, but they never looked up the context. Of course. Of course not. Complete morons. Fuck George Floyd. You see JD Vance is talking about taking down all the George Floyd statues. Thank God. Black America should fucking make him an honorary black man. Can you imagine having those statues up and trying to explain to your kid that that's some sort of hero in black culture? What's the Instagram account? Is it called the Froning Podcast? Froning. The Rich Froning Podcast. Okay, I see it. Yeah, this is good. What I'm about to show you is good. God, Angelo is so funny. Here we go.
I mean, everybody's heard it's going to be in Albany, New York. I don't know if that's true or not.
I mean, I really think we can win this year.
Oh, no, we ain't going on. We're not talking about that.
They got to be hammered to be making these decisions.
I control the media here. Oh.
I have no idea what this is.
Don't you point at me.
Well, I know like High Rocks is like the white collar Spartan race. You don't have to get muddy and you don't have to go outside and you can just do it inside. Oh, what the hell is going on?
The Hunter event is a white collar Spartan race. I mean, that sums it up. $5 to shave your beard so you don't appear to be Pakistani. All right. Fair enough. What do you think about the Bakersfield stuff going on? I haven't heard anything about Bakersfield. I know it's a shithole. Oh, it wouldn't let you type out Pakistani rapist, but you typed it out there. Oh, because it was a super chat, they wouldn't let you type it out? It said try again. Wow. Everyone give me $5 and type in Pakistani rapist. Let me see if let me check the validity of that and then also make $5. I saw yesterday they had the LA Fires like 25% contained, but I guess there were big winds kicking up last night. I haven't checked this morning to see what's going on. Oh, it says my computer's about to die.
Hey, black guys.
Hey, black guys.
If you don't want me to say the N-word, can you stop making it the best part of the fucking song? Call it fucking Freddy in Paris. Fuck. I mean, to be fair, I can feel the N-word coming back. I think I think we're like 5 years out. Hold on, brother. We're gonna get to have some fun again. I mean, cancel culture's over. You know, everything's coming back. Remember when we couldn't say and retard? Retard went away for like a week, huh? After that, we were like, fuck it. And also, let's be honest, the retard don't get upset. If he gets upset, give him a banana. He's fucking happy. The gay guy gets upset, give him a banana too. He'll fucking... But then again, if you call a black guy the N-word and then try to give him a banana... things will escalate.
God, that is just world-class comedy and delivery. Joke upon joke upon joke. It's weird that they bleeped out faggot when the whole point is that you can. It's fucking stupid. Jody Lynn, $9.99 to wear a turban. It didn't let me say Pakistani rapist, but it let me say rapist. Interesting. Yeah, Ari's the man. I agree. He's solid. $2 Pakistani blank rapist. Wow, crazy. So that's YouTube won't let you put those juxtapose those words, huh? It's funny. I keep hearing that Facebook isn't censoring. Dude, they're censoring like fucking crazy. Don't believe any of that bullshit. You don't believe me? Go over and try to do something on my account. Try to tag me. They're censoring like crazy. My account is crazy censored. If you send your kids to school from the age of 5 to 18, they will spend 8 hours a day behind a chain link fence. So let's say that's let's just say that's 250 times 8. What is that? That's 1600 plus 400. That's 2,000 hours. Multiply that times 13. 260,000 hours your kids will spend with lower class libtards, people who don't make a lot of money and who have some fucked up ideology. Just think about that. Why would you want your kids to spend that much time with someone who's poor? Wouldn't you want them to be with someone who's wealthy, who works hard, who brings things to market? Why look at the credentials of school teachers. Look at the lifestyle they live. That's who your kid's going to emulate. $260,000 hours of their youth. That's like so much more time than you'll spend with your kids. So your kid will learn to be poor and to judge people by the color of their skin and to be more concerned about their feelings and who they have sex with than anything else. I'm not talking about whether you loved it. I love school too. Shit, I loved school. Mrs. Burns is saying if I have kids, I want to homeschool them, but I love school. I love school too. But just think about who they're with. Think about this too. I was talking with Dale Saran about this too. Think about this. They're only with kids their own age. They're only with kids their own age. You see homeschool kids, and they're socialized to interact with everyone. They don't avert their eyes. They're not freaked out by anyone. They know how to, my 10-year-old son interacts perfectly with 3-year-olds. He can teach jiu-jitsu to the 18-year-olds at the Jiu-Jitsu Academy, everywhere he goes. Why would you want your kids just, I mean, that's what's so cool about in the old days, right? One classroom, all the kids are in it, all the different ages. Your kids can learn from big kids. They learn how to be compassionate, work with younger kids. Tommy Robinson was sent to jail for exposing grooming gangs. No shit. That guy went to jail for that? Jake Chapman, I take a class for homeschool kids at the gym. They are so well behaved, enjoyed the sessions, and are so coachable. Yes, David, he did go to jail for that. Shut it. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. We cracked the code last night on the show on how to grow the games. Completely cracked the code. Last night's show was wild. Over the last 3 years, I think my insurance has been canceled at least 3 times, my housing insurance, to a point where my wife had to contact this agency that actually finds insurance for you and piecemeals together an insurance plan for your home. You used to be able to just go somewhere, walk into AAA or State Farm or whatever, and you would get a insurance plan for your home, right? And it would cover it, and like you cover whatever you want. Like you just check boxes, and the more boxes you check, the more money you pay. And then people started dropping us. And so, there's some things you just can't afford. Like I don't think you can afford, at least I can't afford earthquake insurance. I don't think I can have that. But I could have fire insurance, flood insurance, shit like that. And so even recently, we had to switch plans again. I think we had State Farm. I think they dropped us. We had to switch plans again, and someone comes out to your house and walks around your yard. In my house, the guy walks around and is like, damn, this place is fucking dope. Three Plain Brothers palatial estate. And the reason why insurance companies do that is not because they're bad people, but because they know something. They do actuarial science. It's the same reason why so many people would love to aggregate CrossFitters and sell insurance to them. Jason Miller, 260,000 hours is 24 hours a day for 30 years. Thank you for checking my math. Maybe was it 26,000 hours? I did 250 times 8 times 13. Does it get you 1,600, 2,000 times 13? Yeah, sorry, 26,000 hours. 26,000 hours. I apologize. Thank you for the correction. 26,000 hours. One too many zeros. Thank you for the clarification. And so last year, when because insurance money, that's where the real science is. I remember when a multi-billionaire insurance company owner who owned the largest insurance company on the African continent called Greg and said, "Can you come to my house?" And we flew over to Africa and met with him in his craziest house you've ever seen. He's like, he showed us the numbers. He showed us the numbers. And it's like, holy shit, people who do CrossFit get healthier. People who do other fitness regimens, they still decline in their health, but just at a slower rate. And then there's the rest of the population that just is on a fucking race to death. And if not a race to death, a race to consume mass amount of medical services and needs. So he wanted CrossFitters. And it was crazy. It was cool. It was cool how he showed us how he did it. He scraped the names off of the website for people who participated in the open, and then fucking found which ones were actually had his insurance, and then checked their insurance records. And so when you see insurance companies dropping people all over California in the last 3 years for fire insurance, they know. They know. And wait till they start dropping you people who are vaccinated. Because they know that too. They know. The insurance companies know. They're not stupid. It's not some sort of conspiracy theory. It's just math. They know what's coming.
California Fair Plan and Governor Newsom. Fact, State Farm announced last year they would non-renew 30,000 policies in what they called, ready for this, wildfire risk areas. And you're thinking middle of nowhere, Big Bear, up in the forest. Nope. Guess what? They non-renewed. Here's the stat, Pat. State Farm non-renewed 69% of the policies it had in Pacific Palisades. Data point this morning confirmed. State Farm said last year, we're non-renewing 69% of the homes we insure currently today in Palisades. Why? Long-term brush risk and poor management of the common area.
You can't blame them.
No, I don't. I'm not blaming them.
I know you're not, but what I'm saying is, You cannot blame. The business has to make profits. And when the regulators make their life a living hell and make them look bad, what do you want us to do? Take a loss every year?
Well, correct. Now I'm going to the punchline. Why did they do that? Because the county of LA and the city of LA had suspended brush removal in Palisades. This comes down to the county.
Are you joking?
Yeah, you can find it. You can find it was suspended here. Casual brush removal suspended here. Limited brush removal suspended here. This is all going to come out because of the California Fair Plan.
So just think about that. The environmentalists didn't want brush removal. And so the brush wasn't removed. So your government didn't do its job. So now your house is surrounded by jet fuel. They basically built a fire around the neighborhood. They laid all the kindling down to burn down your house. Your insurance company sees this and is like, oh, this isn't good. And they cancel your insurance. And then on a windy day, the fire starts and all the kindling is set up. The campfire's been built. And your shit burns to the fucking ground. I did notice something that kind of made me trip a little bit. I can't tell if I'm a psychopath or I just live with the shallowest human beings on planet Earth. But the stuff that I hear people crying about because their homes burned down is just absolutely insane. I saw a couple crying on TV because they lost all of their child's artwork. I see people who are alive on TV crying because they say their whole life is ruined. And I'm thinking to myself, man, if I got my fucking kids out of there alive, I think people need to get out more. I think people need to get out more. Some of the shit I hear people fucking complaining about is nuts. Grandma's dead and little Timmy's pasta art is ruined. Yeah, pasta art. That's good. I'd pay someone $50 to come take all my kids' artwork away. I understand being bummed. Your house burned down. You don't have fucking insurance. Your shit's like, you're like, fuck. You're 82 years old. I understand it. But 35 and you and your wife and your fucking kids got out? Like, damn. Yeah, Hunter Biden's house burned down. Pretty crazy, right? Dude, didn't you cry about a sign when we got it for your birthday? Apples and oranges, dude. Apples and oranges, dude. Apples and oranges. Listen, I have no issue of anyone crying, but going on TV while your whole fucking city burns down and you're concerned about your kid's artwork, sorry. I don't even care if you cry about it in your own personal space. I wouldn't. I mean, like, I wouldn't even care. Like, if I had my kids, I wouldn't even care if my fucking dog burned down. I don't recall the same vibe when Western NC Sevon, but the messaging is odd by some folks. And here's the thing, too. Here's the thing. Those people in Southern California, They voted in this incompetence. They embraced it. They ran to it. They demonized people who spoke out against it. They were begging. It wasn't, they were begging for incompetent fire chiefs, incompetent firefighters. They were begging for fucking incompetent mayors. They've been begging for it. They held George Floyd up as their hero, the porn star who put a gun to someone's stomach, who was driving around fucking the neighborhood high on fentanyl and meth and using counterfeit money. That's their hero. Do you know thousands and thousands of people in LA, white libtards, fucking took a knee for 8 to 9 minutes to commemorate George Floyd? Just think about that. Think of a grown-ass, mature woman, 38 years old, fucking vice president of some fucking company, making $320,000 a year and thinking it's cool that her and her beta husband, who drive a fucking Prius, and their 3 kids took a knee and they were teaching their kids something. I don't know if he was a porn star, but you can go on YouPorn or Pornhub and watch a bunch of his porns. He got one of those giant floppy dongs. It's so floppy. Wow. Where's that picture from, guys? That picture you just sent me. Wow. That's incredible. That's an incredible photo. Where the fuck is this from? This is crazy. There was this when I was a kid and I went to junior high, there was this cult. We called them the purple people because their house was purple, and like 40 or 50 kids. This is in Pleasant Hill, California. And there was like 40 or 50 kids who lived in the house and a shitload of adults. And I can't remember the details of the cult, but it was some sort of cult commune. And I remember their van would come, big white van would come and drop all the kids off every morning and pick all the kids up from school. I wonder why I never went and talked to those kids. I should have figured those kids out. I was never invited like to a birthday party or anything there. But sometimes when I see young athletes with some of the older athletes, I feel like they've been sucked up into the cult, into the purple people. Pleasant Hill, some rich kids cult, maybe. Pleasant Hill wasn't really rich. Pleasant Hill was, I wouldn't say Pleasant Hill was rich. It was like, you know, your mom's like, if you lived in Pleasant Hill, your dad was like a school teacher and your mom was like worked at the police station as a dispatcher or some shit. It's more like that. All right, show's over. Oh no, I'm only at an hour. I got to figure out a different mic situation. I keep having to lean over on this thing. $1 to $2 million homes nowadays. Damn. You could live in Pacheco, get a home for $350,000. Los Angeles paints their fire hydrants with the gay flag. You can't even believe this shit, right? The fire hydrant doesn't work. There's no water in it. But the colors that are painted on it are the sex colors. Like, what are you supposed to do? Sit on that fire hydrant and just let it ride up in your asshole? This guy writes, I'm a homo and I agree with you. We have to stop this bullshit. Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. Why are you talking to me? Oh. Why are fire hydrants being painted in the color of a flag that represents people's sexual proclivities? Why? Couldn't that money have been used better somewhere else? Like to make sure that the water came out of the hydrant? Great allocation of resources. Look at this idiot. This lady writes, bring on a rainbow hydrant with water any day over a red one that's dry. You're completely fucking missing the point. Hey, Pat, you might want to date this girl. She's completely missing the point. She's right up your alley. Who the hell cares about the color it's painted? Really? In the middle of such devastation? I agree with you, a ton of content, but this is downright petty and bigoted. What the fuck? Isn't it amazing? You don't want your fire hydrant painted. You don't want your tax dollars going to paint a fire hydrant that promotes the sexualization of just this screaming from public land that it's okay to put butt fuck people. And if you don't want your money spent that way, you're somehow bigoted. No one wants it painted with straight colors either. We want a paint on it that will preserve it from the elements and keep it so it's functioning, and that's it. We don't want the fire hydrant money being spent by the city to make the fire hydrant some sort of a sexual gratification tool. First of all, that wasn't 40 cents in paint. That was fucking that's about $1 million right there, dude. They had to have 17 meetings at fucking City Hall before they got that approved. And then the paint had to be tested by the Environmental Protection Agency. And then they had to send down 13 union workers down there to block the road off so traffic would be slowed down. Everyone was inconvenienced for that. It was $32 million to paint that hydrant. You simpleton. Stop being a simpleton. What if they could have hired 2 more firefighters? You know what's really embarrassing? I saw this morning on the news. We have firefighters from Mexico. 90 firefighters from Mexico landed today in LA. That's pathetic. That is pathetic. If God, I want to play you some of this right here. I know I'm gonna get dinged. Jesse Waters has been doing some great coverage of the fire. Why would you let your kids on TikTok? Why would you let your kids on TikTok? What does your kid benefit from being on TikTok? Like, what's the benefit? So if I said, why do you let your kids play video games? And you could be like, well, they enjoy it. It brings them pleasure. Lets them talk to their friends about stuff that, that they have commonalities. It teaches them fine motor recruitment patterns with their fingers and hands. When they play with other kids, it teaches them camaraderie and teamwork. Like I could make up some bullshit about a little bit of video game playing. Why would you let your kid? Oh, are we going out to breakfast? Susan wants to know. Are we going out to breakfast? Have we heard from Greg? Oh, okay. Yeah, Susan, let's get breakfast. You can come over here if you want. Move all your shit in. There's an empty room here. No, it's one day. It's one day. Okay, here we go. Why let your kids use TikTok?
If you have a child on TikTok, please listen closely. And if you don't allow TikTok access, you're probably never going to after hearing what they're doing. So company insiders at TikTok were aware and are aware that TikTok is seriously harming children, but they were told to not move forward with protective measures and focus on maximizing engagement regardless of how it affects American children. What was revealed in these documents is TikTok's internal leakage rate, meaning how much bad stuff is getting past moderators, leaking through. Here we go. 35.7% of the content that normalizes pedophilia gets past moderators. 39.1% of the content where minors are solicited for sex gets past moderators. 39.1% of the content where minors are physically abused gets past moderators. And 90% of the content showing normalization of drugs is on TikTok without moderation. And get this, 100% of content that fetishes minors stays on TikTok, does not get removed. TikTok has the opportunity to incorporate modern technology to detect child sexual abuse material and has chosen not to use it, even though this technology would be free to TikTok. TikTok makes their algorithm addictive for minors on purpose. They use
I don't know what the solution is here. I'm so against censorship. And I just think if you're a parent and you've given your kid a cell phone, I don't know. I'm going to have to hear some. I'm so fucking clouded about this, how I think about this. I can't fucking get my head fucking wrapped around this one. I need someone to explain it to me. How does your kid have a phone and access to social media? I just don't get it. I'm not saying that shit doesn't get sneaked. I'm not saying that like when you're a kid, you don't fucking, steal a Playboy from the cabin you're visiting, or we used to go to the library in the 7th and 8th grade and they try to check out Playboys. I'm talking about giving your kid a fucking platform, a portal to the fucking cesspool that is humanity. Access for those people to talk to your kids. How does child sex abuse even get on these things? Shouldn't the people who post to be immediately arrested? Yeah, it's fucking... Yeah, pedo portal. Why don't they just call it that? What if someone should start a social media platform, the PPP pedo portal. Let them all go over there. Oh, triple P, Pakistani pedo portal. God, I wish it was just Pakistanis. Wouldn't that make it easy? You don't hear black people don't really do pedo stuff, do they? You don't hear a lot of black people. Trying to think if I know. When I think of pedo, I see someone in my head. I see a white dude who's balding with the fucking half shaven, white t-shirt that's dirty. Dr. Seuss, my kids get to play Mario Kart for 20 minutes if behavior is good. Yeah, Mario Kart's cool. I've played that a few times with my kids. I like the tennis game. I like the one where you stand up and you swing the stick around and shit. And you got to put the strap on your hand. I like that one. And I'm good at it. It's like the only one I can beat him at. That's not true. Who's the best at tennis in the house? What? It's not true. Yeah, my kids do golf. We have this. We have I see my kids play Mario Kart, and they got like one of those cheap cartridges. Don't tell them, but it's one of these cheap cartridges that has like 10 shitty games on it, like golf and bowling and tennis. They think it's cool. Pat Lang really wants to use the N-word. The blacks just bang all our white women. Oh, I saw the funniest thing about. I wish I had that clip.
Use, quote, coercive design tactics and a manipulative slot machine effect to keep kids on as long as possible. Because according to TikTok, teens have minimal ability to self-regulate effectively. An internal report by TikTok found that
not just teens, everyone has a problem self-regulating.
Use of TikTok causes negative emotions, loss of sleep, poor school performance, loss of memory formation and empathy, and increased anxiety.
The rest is just retard talk. Like, we all know this. No one needs to tell us any of this. We know this. You really need someone to tell you that sleeping is good for you? Or that staying up all night looking at half-naked women on your social media is bad for you? Like, you really need someone to tell you that? Anyway. Have you ever heard a story of a kid who didn't have a cell phone when they needed one and something bad happened to them? I haven't heard that story. I've never heard that, but I hear all the time parents will be like, "Oh, my kid has to have a phone." I'm going to play this for you again. My kid has to have a phone because of safety. My kid has to have a phone because of safety. I'm going to play this for you again. This is one of the assistant fire chiefs for the state of California and the city of Los Angeles. This thing right here. Listen, you want to see somebody that responds to your house. You want to see somebody that responds to your house.
Want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you. It gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? Or, you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
Here's the thing. Let's use her logic. Let's say you do want someone to show up to your fire who looks like you. Think of all the people who don't want her or it showing up because it doesn't look like you. Let me tell you what you want to show up to a fire. You want a man to show up who looks like your dad when he was 30 years old. That's what you want. But Sevy, my dad molested me. I'm talking about generally the biggest. You want someone to show up. You want a strong white or black man, Mexican, Asian, who looks like your dad, Pakistani, when he's 30. That's what you want. Yeah. My dad was a firefighter 30. That's what you want. That's the only thing you want. That's what every single person wants. The vast majority of people don't want this thing. Look at that thing. The thing can barely run. The vast majority of people don't want something that you can't tell if it's a man or a woman and it's obese coming to save you. So even using its own logic, it's a horrible choice. Even using its own logic. Listen, if you're in a burning building and Graciano Rubio shows up with a fucking hose and wearing a fire suit, you're like, it doesn't even matter. You're just like, I'm saved. That's it. You're saved. He picks you up on one arm and you're like, hey, bring my PlayStation 5. He's like, no problem. He grabs that too. That's what you want. I'd be afraid if Sevon showed up for my fire. Me too. You should be afraid if I showed up. No, I don't want an overweight white guy showing up. I want someone who looks fit and capable. Oh, your dad was an overweight white guy? Don't ruin my story. I'm just saying that my dad is probably in better shape now than he was when he was 30 or 40. Oh, shut the fuck up, Augustus. He can't stay up past fucking 8 anymore. 20 to 40-year-old men, I don't give a fuck what ethnicity, whose dick you want to suck. That's who the firefighters need to be. You want me? Yes. Yes. Have you ever met Slater? You do want Slater. Yes. I met him at the games. That's exactly who I fucking want. Exactly. My buddy who became Slater, I used to hang with this kid and in college. And we stayed up all night and we fucking partied and did LSD and chased chicks and we were up all hours of the night. And when he was a lifeguard for the city of for a lifeguard in the state of California, he would tell me about how he'd go to these lifeguard competitions, and they would have all the fucking fittest lifeguards there. This is before I knew anything about CrossFit. He would always take like second or third place, and he was crazy fit. He did all the cool shit. Like when we hung out at the beach, he would do the backflips and all that, and like he could, smoke a bong and do a backflip. He was so fucking cool, this dude. And anyway, at some point, he comes up to me. He's like, hey, man, we can't be doing this hippie shit and just doing drugs and fucking chasing bitches our whole life. I'm going to go to the fire academy. So he goes to the fire academy, and I only hang out with him at night for the next, year or two. And he's telling me about all the cool shit he's learning. He's telling me, he's like, hey, dude, did you know that fires don't actually burn shit? Objects heat up and they give off gas, and that's the gas that burns. And he would show me a match and explain it to me. And he would tell me how he would climb the fucking fire ladder like 9 stories high, and they turn on the hose and it would be so much pressure and it would push the fucking ladder back. And then eventually he's like, hey, dude, I'm out. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I'm getting a job at a fire station. This is like 20 years ago. Now he's a fire captain. And I remember when he left and he stopped being my hippie party friend. And I was thinking to myself, fuck, if I ever am in trouble, I hope this dude shows up. He loved people so much. He cared about people so deeply. He was so strong. He was so interested in everything that he learned at the fire academy. It was so dope. Of course, gravity isn't real. Gravity's not real. Red means stop isn't real. Racism isn't real. Young black kids walking around in a mob with their pants halfway pulled down, being afraid of them isn't real. White guys with pot bellies drinking beer and half-grown beards watching the NFL on Sundays don't beat their wives isn't real. All that shit, none of that's real. But there's some great knowledge around all of those ideas that can give you some discernment, that can give you the highest predictive value of shit. God ain't real. The thought of God isn't real, that's for sure. All right, 2 more minutes. Dance, monkey, dance. Yes, sir. Give me. I have 2 more minutes of engagement with you guys. I'm fucking out of here. I wish we could all go to breakfast together. I'm getting fit. For those of you who give a shit, I'm getting fucking fit. Greg had this really thick pull-up bar in his new gym, and it spins. And it spins very easily. You know what I mean? Like you could just like spin it like this and the bar would just rotate. It's really thick. It's probably like that. It's probably maybe almost 3 inches in diameter. And I went over there with a guy and we were doing pull-ups on it, and I just did 1 and everyone else did like 2 or 3. Then I waited a couple minutes and I did 1, and then people tried to do more. And I was just doing sets of 1. And then someone did a set of 4, so I did a set of 4. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm going for it. And I did a set of 7. I held the record for a little while. And then there's a guy I think who's a flow master for CrossFit, and he was there. I want to say he did 10. Then this fucking skinniest beta fucking dude you've ever seen, in a fucking with the tightest fucking like dress pants on, and a white collared shirt. He was probably like 5'7", 120. He did 15. I want to say Taylor did 9. But outside of those guys, I held the record. I'm gonna go back there probably. Maybe I'll even go in there today. I think I can do 10. I think I can beat Taylor. I think I can do 10 or 11. But Oh, my point being is because it was a rotate. My forearms haven't been sore in, I don't know, 10 years, but because it's a rotating bar, my forearms were so sore. It's funny. It's a weird kind of pull up. You know how usually pull ups, you feel it in your lat or your biceps? This wasn't like that. It was like shit in here that it was like your forearm that was the weak point. And everyone was trying to do them like this, doing a thumb wrap. And I'm like, guys, big mistake. Huge purchase, false grip. John Young just did 21. Yeah, 7 reps. I know. I was impressed. I think I could do more. The scary part is you can't really go to failure on this bar, because if you do and you were to, in order to rotate and you were to fall off, you could fall back on your head. That would be the end of you. You'd be dead. And it's a concrete floor. At the time Crowley was sworn in, women accounted for just 3.5% of the uniformed membership. A survey found that half the uniformed women in the department felt harassment was a problem. Good, leave. Anytime there's men around, women are going to feel that. Sorry, it's just the way it is. It's firefighting. It's saving lives. Go get a job in fucking City Hall where there's no tolerance for harassment. Death toll up to 24 now. Holy shit. Yeah, I saw something. When I saw something flash on the screen the other day, I was doing the math. It looks like it's more than 40,000 acres. Sorry, I believe in I believe that in saving lives is a top priority over people's feelings, and I think even trannies want strong men to come save them. I think lesbians, gays, trannies, pedophiles, I think everyone wants Slater to come save them. That's it. That's who I think. That's who I think should be a firefighter. This is the fire chief, assistant chief, and training commander at the Los Angeles Fire Department. Let me repeat that. This is the fire chief, the assistant chief, and the training commander of the Los Angeles Fire Department.
They got the WNBA in charge of putting out fires in LA. You know? Nah, it's like if there's any job that should be done by a man, it's fireman. All right? It's in the title. All right? They're going to say, oh, he's being sexist. The job title could be being a man. They'll be like, oh, you know who could be a man better than any man? Me. And you wonder why the city looks like the Gaza Strip, you know? Yeah, the future's female. This is what the female future looks like, all right? I hope you're happy. Apparently, they got the WNBA in charge of...
Those ladies make over $1 million between their 3 salaries. All right. Love you guys. Great show. Talk to you guys later. I'm going to still try to have Kenny Kane on. Unfortunately, his home and his gym burned down. Hopefully, that'll go down later on today. Janelle Winston. If it was Sam Briggs, it would be fine. Yeah, Sam Briggs can. Yes. 4 out of 10. Not bad from the kitchen here in Scottsdale. Thank you. Not bad at all. All right. Talk to you guys later. Love you guys.